welcome back to Pastor Connie's Cats of Creativity. I'm glad that you're here today. We're going to have lots of fun together. Today our story is going to be about the people of Israel. Remember, we are looking for lessons in the wilderness. And so today our story is they are wandering through the wilderness and they're beginning to get really thirsty, which makes sense, right? Do you get thirsty every day? So do I. Well, they've been walking for a while and they're thirsty and they begin to grumble and complain, and then God does something really cool. So stick around and find out, and it's going to be in the book of Exodus, chapter 17. But what we learn in the story is our point for the day, which is God is with us. The people were complaining because they were thirsty, but also because they weren't really sure if God was really with them. So this story reminds us that God is with us. That's what we're talking about, our big idea for today. Our memory verse this morning is from Psalm 62, verse 6, and it says, God alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. Psalm 62, 6. So it's a great psalm to remind us that Jesus is our rock. God is our rock in times of trouble. He holds us tight, holds us fast, and we don't need to worry about being blown to the left or the right. He's right there with us, and he's our fortress. He's our shelter. So this is our memory verse for this week. I challenge you to put it to memory. Yes, and it's a good verse. And as always, we have our worship bulletins. And this time the story is popular. So again, we have some games that you could play. Get on your computer at the end of our time together, and there's some extra activities that coordinate with our lesson today. So pull out your worship bulletins. These are on our website and also in our Google Classroom. And then for our craft today, we're going to be making cinnamon ornaments. So I made a heart that says God is with you. As a reminder to me, I'm going to put it on my door and remind me that God is with me. And the ornaments, this recipe is also on our Google Classroom as well as on our website. So you can download that to have it with you or just follow along with the video. So yeah, lots of fun we'll be having today. I'm glad that you're here, and get your Bible, turn it to Exodus chapter 17, and let's start learning. This song is about following the Spirit of God, following Jesus, and moving where He moves, okay? It's called Every Move I Make, and it goes like this. Where the Spirit goes, where He moves, we'll follow. Today our song is called Open the Eyes of My Heart. And the chorus, I want to show you this. The chorus goes like this. Holy, holy, holy. So take your two fingers like you're cutting. And this is actually the letter H in sign language. And then take your other hand like this. And you're going to go like this, or like it's hovering over the top of your hand. And this actually means holy in sign language. So when we say the holy part, I want you to take your two hands and go holy, 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 holy. I want to see you. Holy, holy, just like that, okay? So holy, I want to see you. So let us sing. Here's how it goes. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shine in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. You ready? Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Now open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I want to see you. I want to see you. To see you high and lifted up, shining in the light of your glory. Pour out your power and love as we sing holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Now close your eyes and sing it again. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you one more time. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. Holy, holy, holy. I want to see you. Open our eyes to see you. Amen. Our memory verse today is found in Psalm 62:6, and it goes like this. God alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. Psalm 62:6. Ready? One more time. God alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be shaken. Psalm 62:6. Now you try. Today we are going to make some hearts made out of clay that's going to harden, and then we're going to put it on our door as a reminder for our point today that God is always with us. Okay, so I'm going to show you some supplies that you need, as well as the recipe is on our website if you want to download the recipe to follow along after we're done. Okay, so what we're going to need is 1 cup flour, 1/2 cup of salt, and 1/2 cup of cinnamon. We're going to mix this together, and then we're going to add some water. Now, this is not edible. We're not going to eat this. This would taste really, really gross. It's pretty much just salt and cinnamon, which is nasty. So don't eat it. We're going to roll it up, and we're going to make ornaments that we can decorate our houses with. And they're also going to smell good, like cinnamon, okay? So 1 cup flour. That's our first ingredient. And now we need 1/2 cup salt. Now we need 1/2 cup cinnamon. Woo! Well, that's a lot of cinnamon. Whoop! Cinnamon. Whoop! Cinnamon. Whoop! Cinnamon. Whoop! Now we're going to stir it up. Woo! When you make yours, you're going to see it's a lot of cinnamon. All right. The next thing we need is 3/4 cup very warm water. Now I'm going to add my very warm water, 3/4 of a cup, and then you stir it up. Once you kind of have it mixed together, if you want to peel it off your spoon and then use your hands. Your hands are the best way to knead the dough. It feels like playing in sand. It's all gritty. So I added a little bit too much white, as you could tell, because mine has a little bit of white. You can see the flour. So try not to do that. You want it to be this nice chocolate color. And then what we're gonna do now is roll it out like you would roll out cookies. But remember, we're not going to eat these. It's best if you have some wax paper, but if not, you can just roll it on your kitchen counter or on your table. Get your rolling pin out and gently roll it. You want it thick enough that it won't break when it hardens, but thin enough that you can poke holes in it and stuff if you'd like to. Another trick with doing this is if you want to hang it, like I'm gonna hang mine on my door handle, I'm gonna poke a hole in it before it dries. So it's very easy just to string some thread through when I'm finished, once it's all dry. And these ornaments take about 24 hours to dry. So I'm going to do my design today and then let them dry. And then tomorrow, see how they look. And I could either paint them a color, or I could leave them this pretty brown color. So either way. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, so now I have so many cookie cutters. I got out all my cookie cutters. Look at this. I have a whole nother bag. We do a lot of cookies. But I thought I'm gonna do some just simple hearts so that I could put them on my door. on my door handle, okay? Now I'm gonna take my dough and I'm gonna roll it again and get a few more cookies, or not cookies, a few more ornaments out of this stuff. A skewer, and I'm going to poke a hole so that I can hang my lovely designs. I'm gonna poke a hole right here. Shot to the heart, and you're too late. All right, put a nice hole so that I could put a string through. A hole for Abigail's room, a heart for Micah's room, and a heart for my room to remind us all that God is with us. I'm gonna put a hole on the top of my star. All right, that's how you make lovely ornaments. And you can do this for Christmas if you want to, but you could also do it in the middle of July or the 1st of July. So have fun making some ornaments. I'm gonna leave these here for 24 hours. So tomorrow I'm gonna come back and take a peek at them. So I will see you in 24 hours and we'll look again and see how hard they are. So I checked my ornaments 24 hours after we made the first one, and they were definitely still a little dark on one side, so I flipped them over and waited another 24 hours. So today is actually day 3, and they're still, if you could tell, a little bit on the damp side. See how this side is super light, and then if I flip it over, this side is darker. So it's supposed to all turn out to be this lighter color. So technically I probably shouldn't paint them, but as I've said before, I don't really have a lot of patience, so I'm gonna go ahead and paint them anyways. But for your ornament to turn out the best, you wanna wait until it's fully this kind of lighter color, and then it won't have the possibility of breaking as easily. So I'm gonna just do one today, then I might do my other ones tomorrow once they're fully dry. But I thought I would do one so that we can get the video going here. So here I have my lovely ornament, and now I'm going to do a yellow heart. I think that would be fun. All right. And all you're gonna do is paint your heart. It's easy as that.
If you want to do 2 coats, you can do 2 coats. I probably will do 2 because as you can tell, it's kind of porous, so it won't cover super well. But isn't that nice? All it is flour and salt and cinnamon. And oh, you're gonna love the smell. Our whole house has smelled like cinnamon the last 3 days. You can even make one of these and put a magnet on it so that you can put it on your dishwasher, so you can say clean. So when it's clean, when right when you turn it on, you put on the magnet. You can say clean, I love you, for your mom, or your dad. There's a lot of things you can do with these little ornaments. Or put the hole in like I just did and make it hang. I'm gonna hang mine on our doors as a reminder of God's love for us. He is always with us and He cares for us. He does care.
So now that I have all my sides done, I'm gonna let this dry. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to paint the other side. Okay, I'm going to let that dry and then I'm going to paint the other side. So let's give that some time to dry. Yeah. Okay, so we're back and my heart is all dry. I went ahead and did the back side as well. And it's up to you if you want to get out some Sharpies and write on it, or get some paint and paint some more layers or some dots or some swirls, or just get creative. You can do a whole lot with all this clay. I am going to write on mine our big idea, which is God is with us. So I'm gonna write God is Now I'm going to get some string, and since I have poked my hole already, it should be pretty easy to do. Make sure you don't smudge your ink when you're fiddling with it. That would be sad. You can always just paint another layer if you need to. All right. And now my little reminder that God is with me is all finished. There we go. What can you make with your fun little clay? Welcome back. Our story continues as we follow the Israelites through the wilderness. Last week, they experienced God providing water and providing food and providing meat, right? They had manna and the quail that fell from heaven. So they got to experience full tummies, and this miracle stayed with them the whole time they were in the wilderness for 40 years. And today our story begins in Exodus chapter 17. We're going to see once again this cycle of a problem that they discover, and then the people of God begin to complain, and then Moses intercedes. He prays for them to God, and then God delivers them. So let's see what happens, the details of our story today. So get out your Bible. It's going to be in Exodus chapter 17. And remember, the first 5 books of the Bible are super important. They're called the Pentateuch. These are the names: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. There's 5. Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. These are like the super important ones of the Israelites, the Hebrew faith. So it's a good thing to know these 5 books: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. Can you say it with me? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Good job. So those are the first 5 books of the Old Testament, and we are in the story of Moses. Here's Moses. He's our main character, and he's the guy who's pretty much the main character in the whole book of Exodus. So let us read about what happens in Exodus chapter 17. The whole community of Israel started out from the desert of Sin, and they traveled from place to place just as the Lord commanded. They camped at Rephidim, but there wasn't any water for the people to drink. So what's the problem? There's no water. So they begin our story super happy. Yay, we're leaving. We're hiking through the wilderness. We're having a great time. And then the problem is there's no water. So if you were going for a hike for a long time and you began to get thirsty and you saw no water, you'd begin to feel a little bit worried, right? Is your worry important? Yes. Is your worry real? Yes. Do we need water to survive? Yes. So it's okay if you feel worried. We have this emotion for a reason. So but what happens next is, let's see what happens next. I won't give it away. So, verse 2, they argued with Moses. They said, "Give us water to drink." And Moses replied, "Why are you arguing with me? Why are you putting the Lord to the test?" But the people were thirsty for water. They told Moses they weren't happy with him. They said, "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt? Did you want us, our children, and our livestock to die of thirst?" So here's what happened. They're happy, la la la, and then they began to get thirsty and they see no water. So the problem is there's no water. Now what happens next is they take their worry, and their worry turns into anger. Now they're angry. They want to blame somebody. So who are they going to blame? Get mad at Moses. And so Moses is like, "Dude, what you doing? Why are you mad at me?" The people get very angry and they say, "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt? Why did you just kill us there if you're just going to kill us out here?" The people are complaining and they're angry. They're angry at God, but their anger is coming out at Moses. Do you ever have that happen? When something makes you angry, and instead of being angry at the thing that happened, you get angry at somebody else, and you even blame somebody else for what happened. Yeah, our anger does a lot of strange things. So it's good to stop and think, wait, what am I angry at? And how can I better deal with my anger? Maybe hitting a pillow a few times, getting some frustration out, and then having a conversation about what happened. Yeah, so what's a better way to handle our anger, right? Let's see what happens next. Verse 4, then Moses cried out to the Lord, and he said, so now here's Moses. He's doing the third step here. He's interceding. He's going to prayer for the people. Cried out to the Lord, what am I going to do with these people? They're almost ready to kill me by throwing stones at me. So the people are like threatening Moses' life. They're so angry at Moses. They're almost going to kill him. The Lord answered Moses. He said, walk on ahead of the people. Take some of the elders of Israel with you. Take in your hand the wooden staff you used to strike the Nile River. Go. I will stand there in front of you by the rock at Mount Horeb. Hit the rock, and then water will come out of it for the people to drink. Okay, so Moses is praying, saying, God, what do you want me to do? These people are about ready to kill me. They're going to throw stones at me. They're going to stone me. And God tells Moses, just get some of your leaders together, walk out through all the people, walk in front of the people, and then walk to Mount Horeb, and then stand there by the rock at Mount Horeb. Now, what we see in this Exodus story is the presence of this rock. Everywhere they go, there's this rock. So God tells Moses, go up to the rock at Mount Horeb and then do what to it? What does it say? And then he says, hit the rock. And when you hit it, what's going to happen? Water is going to come out of it. That's right. So Moses comes up to this rock. Oh, it's this big rock, right? He comes over to the rock. He takes his stick. And he hits it, kind of like a piñata. He hit the stick. Did he hit it a lot of times? No, he just one hit. Hit the rock, and then water. I don't have a blue, but water floods out of the rock. You get the idea. Water comes out of the rock. Woo! And the people can drink. Now, what's really cool about this is that in the book of 1 Corinthians, so in the New Testament, the Apostle Paul, who wrote the book of 1 Corinthians, he recalls this story and he makes a statement. He says, the rock was actually Jesus. Jesus is following, this rock is like moving. Jesus' presence is with his people, even in the desert. And when Moses struck the rock, he was actually striking Jesus. And the rock, from the rock came life, came water for the people, which is pretty cool. Even our memory verse today, remember, is God is my rock and my salvation. Many, many times the Psalms talk about Jesus, God being our rock. So as this rock is present with the people, from the rock comes life. In our spiritual practice today, we're talking about watching for where is your rock? Where is Jesus in your room? Where is Jesus in your space? And getting quiet and learning how to look for the rock that's with you, who is probably not going to burst out water for you, but who is present to give you life and give you peace when you're worried or afraid or anxious. So that's our spiritual practice today, and I'm going to talk about it right now. For our spiritual practice today, I want you to practice asking Jesus to reveal himself to you. That word reveal means to unveil, to show him, to show you where he's at. So one of the really cool things about being a kid is that you are naturally more spiritually sensitive. You are more aware of the spirit world and all that's going on around you. And so it's really cool to, while you're young, learn how to be quiet and to ask Jesus to reveal himself in a way that you can see, but not with your physical eyes, but with your spiritual eyes. Kind of like if you close your eyes, like I've said this before, if you can close your eyes and picture a banana, that spot in your mind that you could picture the banana, that's a place in your mind that the Spirit talks to you and gives you pictures and impressions and words. So when you find yourself worried, like our story today, the Israelites were worried that they couldn't find any water. Or maybe you find yourself being afraid, full of fear, or perhaps you feel sad today. Whatever your emotion is, if you're feeling sad, afraid, worried, you can stop and say, Jesus, reveal yourself to me. Show me where you're at right now. So what I want you to do for your spiritual practice is to get out a piece of paper and some crayons. And I'm gonna lower my camera and show you what I want you to do, okay? What I want you to do is get your piece of paper and your crayons out, and I want you to think about where you're currently sitting. So and then draw a few objects around you. So for me, I'm sitting on a bench against a green wall. So here's my green wall and here's my bench. And I am sitting right here. And then I have a round table in front of me. And then I have my comfy couch right here next to me. And then I have a wall right here that goes into the kitchen. Okay, so that's kind of my space. Can you draw your space? Are you sitting on a chair? Are you sitting on a couch? Are you sitting on your bed? Where are you? So draw a little picture of the room that you're in. And you can do this when you're in your own room. And especially it's a good thing to do when you feel afraid or you feel sad or lonely, to stop and draw a picture of where you're at in the room. And I'm going to circle myself. This is me right here. And then once you're done with that, then what we're going to, here's my table in front of me. Once you're done with all this, then you're going to do some prayer. And you're gonna say, Jesus, where are you in my room? I'm right here. Where are you? And then I want you to be quiet and see what Jesus says. A lot of times I'll take a bright, like a yellow color, some kind of bright, because Jesus is light, he's the light of the world. So sometimes I'll use yellow and he'll tell me where he's at. Like right now, I feel like what I heard him say was he's right next to me in my room. So take a minute and draw your space and ask Jesus, where are you in my room? Where are you in my space? And especially when we are afraid or we're scared or we're lonely or we're sad, to draw your space and say, Jesus, where are you? And you know what? I can promise you, he speaks to you and God will tell you where he's at. And I promise you that he is with you in your space, because we are never alone. He is our rock and our salvation. He is our fortress. We will not be shaken. That's our spiritual practice today. So go try it out. Okay, so learning to look for Jesus in our room, in our space, is a great practice. And that's what the people of God needed to learn to do. Our point today, our big idea, is that God is with us. The people, they were arguing with Moses because they started to not believe. Are you really with us? The very last line says in I'll read it. Verse 8, verse 7, Moses called this place Massah, which means test, and Meribah, which means quarrel or to fight or to bicker. He called it those two names. That's because the people of Israel argued with him there, and they also put the Lord to the test. And they asked, "Is the Lord among us or not?" So they've had all of these different miraculous things happen to them, but here they are again, worried for their thirst, worried that they might die out here, and they once again say, "Is God with us or not?" And that's what we need to learn, is that God, our point is God is with us. Jesus is with us in our room. But we have to be aware, be practiced enough to be able to stop and say, wait, I'm feeling afraid, I'm anxious, I'm angry, I'm mad, whatever it is, or even I'm joyful. Jesus, where are you? Where are you in my joy? Where are you in my pain? And learning to see that God is indeed present with us. That rock, the rock of our salvation, our fortress, is with us. And Jesus came through in a miraculous way to the people of Israel, providing water for them. And he comes through for us, offering his presence and his peace when we need him the most. So that's our story today. Isn't that great? Okay, let's go ahead and let us pray. Dear Jesus, I thank you for my friends this morning watching this video. I pray that you would help us see that you are with us. We are not alone. Jesus, I pray you would be my friend's rock, that they would not be afraid, and that when they are afraid, you would help us learn to stop and say, "Jesus, where are you?" And I know, Jesus, you are so faithful and good that you will open our spiritual eyes to see you. Help us see you in our pain. Even when we're hurting, you're right there. See us when we're having a good day. Pray that we would see you in all parts of our lives. Amen. Thanks for joining me today as we have been exploring the wilderness with the Israelites. And it is time now for our wilderness badges. We have gained 2 badges today. The first badge is this badge that has a little house on it, as a reminder to, when you feel afraid and you feel anxious and worried, to stop and just ask Jesus, where are you right now in my space? If you're in your bedroom, you say, Jesus, where are you in my room? Where are you in my house? Or if you're somewhere where you're just afraid, to be able to just learn to stop and say, where are you, Jesus? And this house is a reminder that he is with you right now where you're at. And if you need to stop and say, where are you? And he really will answer your prayer and show you where he is with you right now. So we have our little house. Our second badge is this cross badge to remind us that Jesus is always with us. He is our rock. He is walking by our side, and we just need to reach out and look for him and ask him, show me where you're at, and he'll show us where he's at. So this is our cross badge. This is Jesus was with the people of Israel in the wilderness, so he is with you and I as well. All right, well, thanks for exploring the wilderness with me, and as we always say, the wilderness must be explored.